Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Shut Door or Door Shutter coming back to you with a brand new episode of All the Mods 9, and we are getting into the Dissolution Chamber from Industrial Foregoing. So, Industrial Foregoing. Foregoing. I'm just gonna keep butchering it. There we go. Dissolution Chamber. So this right here, what is this? Disenchantment. Okay. This machine here is our kind of next step in progression for the Industrial Foregoing mod. It actually looks like this has been changed a little bit, if I remember correctly, but that's okay. Let's go grab some plastic sheets. I didn't AFK too much, but we do have 15 in here. I've also put some power on the fluid extractors over here. Nothing too insane. Of course, that's still generating the acacia logs, and we should now be able to get the diamond gear here real fast. The diamond gear can then get us the dissolution chamber. We're also going to quickly want to grab an ender tank. Ender tanks are just going to be outright useful. What are these? Oh, dark tanks. Okay. But yeah, let's get a bucket. Let's grab 2 buckets. Let's just grab 2 of these bad boys. And we're going to want to grab fluid pipes. So pipes. And do-do-do. So this is actually going to be what this one's used for. Specifically is the ender tank. So we're going to try and set the ender tank right there. We're going to get our create wrench to input. We'll make sure that's speedy as can be. So all white. We've got latex. This thing can hold by default 32 buckets. Of course, using ender pearls or eyes of ender would allow for you to put more. Just right now, we're not using any of our ender pearls for that. So let's put that there. Let's put the ender tank on top. Smack that. And this should start filling this up with latex. Fantastic. Wireless fluid transmission. And then, looks like we're actually not pulling power because I forgot to set this. There we go. And that should get us a powered dissolution chamber. Okay. What can a dissolution chamber be used for? Well, it can be used for add-ons, which are range add-ons, speed add-ons, efficiency add-ons, and processing add-ons. The processing tier 2 is probably the best for all of these. Processing, efficiency, and speed. The range, there's anywhere from 12 to 1, and all of them require different materials, basically. So, you know, kind of pick and choose whatever application you need it for. But right now, we're going to try and get some speed add-ons. So we're going to get some diamond gears. Diamond gear. So we're going to get a handful of these. So we have 8 machines. 9 machines, my bad. 10 machines, actually. Because we're going to also do one in the dissolution chamber. So 10 machines. They're going to need this. So we're going to need 20 diamond gears in total. Because each add-on should require 2 diamond gears per. So 2. Where is it at? 2, and then 2. And then we're going to need to grab the other materials, which are sugar. So sugar. Okay, so 20 of that. Let's actually, yeah, we've already bookmarked the add-ons. So this would be the speed one. Glass panes. So let's just make quite a bit of glass panes. Ooh, glass door. Interesting. We'll just grab quite a bit of glass panes. We basically just need 20. And then redstone. And this should be enough for the speed stuff. Not the actual, not all of them. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Okay, so that's going to be the speed add-on here. And it looks like we're actually not pushing enough power into this, by the way. I mean, we're kind of losing amount of power here, so that's not a good thing. It's probably because we're not able to pull enough. Most likely. Yeah, I mean, we should be fine. We really just need to get some storage of power. But for right now, we're fine. Okay, so that gives us a speed add-on And then we're going to do this several more times. You can only put one per. So I'll be back here in a second. Also, we could just lock the input real quick, which we could demonstrate. So locking this would actually set the recipe for a second. So all we have to do is shift. That makes things a little bit easier. Be right back. All right, so there's the speed add-ons. So let's get efficiency, which is this one. I forget I had them bookmarked. So that's blaze rods. So we need 20 blaze rods. Let's just get that. So 20. And we're just going to do this again. And I'll be back. All right, so we're still working on add-ons, but we actually needed more latex. So I quickly came over here, and I've put the speed and efficiency add-ons onto the latex that we need for the Dissolution Chamber. And that should get us a little bit more, just a little bit quicker. And you can see the speed at which this is operating is actually significantly quicker. Because we can get about looks like a bucket in probably about a minute, 40 seconds, around about there it looks like. So that's not terrible at all. But I'm still not done crafting all this. I just ran out of latex, so I had to go throw the stuff in to actually get a little bit more, which this is why we're making these. The efficiency, the speed, and the processing, they all add up at the end of the day to be able to make your machines a lot more effective and honestly, just overall, a lot better. Okay, I think the next ones we've got are crafting tables, furnaces. The processing upgrade, double the output. For example, somebody said a plant sower, instead of doing one operation, it's going to attempt to do 2 in its normal speed. So that's kind of what that does. It's a little bit more than that, I think. But it's useful. It's awesome. We're going to get it. We'll look at it here, especially in the context of the latex processing unit. It should output double, basically, for us. Not every machine can accept every upgrade that we're putting in here, by the way. It's kind of just some machines will accept them, some won't. So, for example, of course, the processing upgrade can be put in here. I believe, like, the ore laser base has some restrictions on what add-ons you can put. Of course, that would also go for the fluid laser base. All right, so let me get the rest of these upgrades, the processing, and we'll be back here in a second. All right, so we can demonstrate the processing upgrade here. So if we actually take out this fluid pipe here for a second, you can see that we get about 12 per latex operation here. But putting in a processing upgrade, that will actually go up. It basically just filled the entire thing. And then, of course, we can toss that in here as well. And that'll also be able to produce just as quick. You can see, actually, if there's 2 buckets in here, it should actually make 2 instead of 1. So if we watch this, now it's not going to do anything, is it? So there's 1. So that was 1 processing. We may be able to get lucky and see there's 2. No. But it'll happen. If there's 2 buckets in here, it'll try and process all of them. It's a pretty nifty thing. Overall, that's going to increase our production for plastic. And that should actually start us in the next bit of our plan, which is actually to get a plant sower. Not a planter, a plant sower. And a plant gatherer to start getting some actual a better tree farm overall. Okay, because we're gonna take this thing out. This is cool, but we can just make it better, and I want to do that. All right, so let me be right back. Let's get what we need, which is a flux point, some item pipes, some filters, and a few other things. Be right back. All right. So I went ahead and I got flux points, 2 range tier 4 add-ons, several of the actual speed, efficiency, processing. I got the plant sower. This stuff is not that complicated to make, so, not too terrible. All right, so first things first, we're going to get the plant sower placed out here. So we're probably just going to kind of pick a spot and go with it. So if we want to see the range at which this operates originally, it's just 1 block. So that's why we get the range add-ons. So we're going to do that. And you can see where this will actually be effective. I didn't want to go too massive, especially because it's right next to the house. So we're going to then put our plant gatherer center, to this block, and then we're going to put our range add-on here, and then we can turn this off, show this, and this actually should match the actual plant sower, right? So that's awesome. That's exactly what we're looking for. So let's get that cleared out. Let's get that cleared out. And let's get our add-ons put in here. And same thing here. And we're going to get some saplings. So this colored grid here is not the inventory. It's this one here. This is actually kind of telling you, hey, this is where I want to plant the crops. So for example, if I wanted to plant in this red region, which I think would be coordinating to this red corner, so probably like right about here-ish, that would actually coordinate over there. So if I wanted to plant wheat over there, it would plant wheat specifically over there, if that's what I have it locked to, okay? Or set to, not locked to, because lock contains this thing. So that's awesome, right? But since we're only going to put oak saplings in here, it's not really the biggest deal. That'll be fantastic, okay? All right, let's get the dirt placed down here. Let's actually get a sapling. This thing is actually doing particle effects, even though it doesn't have powers. The flux point placed down, shuts network. We're going to get that powered, and that should start going. Perfect, it did. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to put power, and that should be working once we get this set to our network. And that should be pretty good. Okay, so once things grow, it'll start doing that. So the next bit of things we want to do is get a pipe set to saplings to actually push into this. So let's just mine this direction. I probably should just grab my shovel. Might be easier. Okay, and let's also just grab... Do I have a torch? Do I have not any torches? Torch. Actually, I guess I could just hold this in my offhand. Okay, like night vision. So that way we can then move item pipes back this way. Let's actually take this out. Put this here. We're going to grab our create wrench or pipe wrench, either or. Set this to there. And we're just going to snag a sapling to make sure that's whitelisted. And then there we go. Okay, that is perfect. So that should get those. The only thing is, of course, if we overflow, I guess we could actually just quickly get an ender chest down here. Because if you don't know, pipes can actually go to nearest first, which is exactly what we're going to do. So this should be the nearest. And if we put the ender chest here with this here, that should be the furthest point. So, of course, if we have too many saplings, they should start going into our system. Okay, and then ender chest, we should just be able to get the white ender chest here. And this will count for everything else, logs and all that stuff. Okay, and then we can just put this, let's actually move that flux point to the top here. And then we're just going to do the ender chest behind. And then we're going to want to filter on this to make sure that we blacklist saplings. So saplings will just go down. Okay. And that should be a tree farm. We could actually grab some bone meal here real quick if we wanted to test this out real fast. There we go. And that should do everything it needs to do. If we actually do this one more time. Let's get the torches out of my hand for just a second. Okay, and then the plant sower should start planting stuff, which is fantastic. So after a little while, this whole thing will be full. And of course, it should always get the first batch of saplings compared to the actual chest. And then, of course, all of this stuff just goes back into our system. We set that up with the original create tree farm we had here. But overall, this is a fantastic tree farm. Could we do this self-sustaining? We could have. I actually haven't done that in a while, and I was kind of thinking about it. And maybe we'll look at that next episode, pull off the flux points, and just have this make charcoal and stuff to power itself. It might be something to look at. But I know we can afford this, so it's something that, you know, might as well do for right now. And we'll let this go. All right, and with that, we're going to wrap this one up. I know we really did not look at a whole lot this episode. We got into the Dissolution Chamber, we got into the Plant Gatherer, Plant Sower, but this is a more reliable tree farm that overall will just be used until end game. Of course, we could always make a bigger one, but I think this is actually really, really good for what it is. Sooner or later, we could probably get some lily pads of fertility, make this thing quite a bit quicker. Maybe like, 4 lily pads of fertility on the corners kind of thing. But who knows? Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.